First of all, having a tattoo is not a legal form of action in terms of saying that you do not want a search proceeding in your medical case. 2.
Do you have a second point?
I had a second point. I've forgotten my second point.
That's impressive.
Anyways, first point
I
was
may
correct.
have an idea here, but when someone comes in, you don't say, first, before resuscitating, why don't we just check if he signed somewhere that he does not want to be resuscitated? Having it written on his chest is a faster way to tell you that he does not want to be resuscitated.
You have time to check that since you're not busy resuscitating
You rolled up his shirt to put on the thing. Of course you see it.
That's stupid. Your job is to resuscitate him right there. It doesn't matter what's written on him.
Yeah, it does matter if it's written that do not resuscitate. Okay, go ahead.
Your job as a first responder is to try your best to revive the person, and even if it says don't resuscitate me, it is his will, but at the same time, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is trying to help him stay alive.
Okay,
And if he wanted to die, then that's a problem. That's a more mental issue that he has to deal with.
But look, I'm trained in first aid when it comes to primary and secondary aid. You cannot help a person before asking, can I help you? If they say no, you're not allowed to help them. However, if they can't reply, then it's an implied yes. But it does say no on his chest.
Agreed.
Therefore, it is a no.
Yes,
so you cannot
but
resuscitate
cardiac arrest
You have a
was an
point.
official form of
Well, that's
suicide.
right.
As such,
1,000 years
we're not
ago.
sure if that is his official opinion.
Well, he signed it.
Maybe he thought he would die like 10 years
Tattoo.
later.
I
Yeah,
would like
but
to
he
please
signed
say
it.
something.
Okay.
Yes, Joe.
I want to question the legitimacy of a tattoo on your chest saying that you don't want to be resuscitated. Because what kind of trust can we put in the words tattooed on a man's chest? Do we know what purpose he put it there? And what if he really wanted that? Like, it's not a conventional way to tell someone, I want to die, just don't revive me if I'm
But
dying.
there's a difference between being suicidal and wanting to die and thinking, oh, if I die at like 70, then I don't want to be resuscitated. Like maybe he didn't think he'd be dying like right
Because
now.
the thing is, the tattoo doesn't have any legal powers in assessing that the person does not actually want to be
But
revived.
he signed it.
But
You could have a tattoo saying,
But you
I'm
can't
cool,
sign
and
your own
signed it, and
tattoo.
have like, oh, that's
Think
you
about
have
it. He
tattooed
didn't choose to have a cardiac arrest. I mean, it just happened to him at some random point, and then and then randomly, somehow he's found in this situation where all that we have of his will is what's written on his chest, but we don't actually know if that's what he would have said at the time he died, at the time he had his arrest. I mean, you can't be sure that's what he meant.
So technically, if you sort of just ignore his state, you're killing him because you don't know whether he really wanted to be resuscitated or not. You don't know when he tattooed this. So by ignoring what's happening to him, by agreeing to what it says on his chest, you're letting a man die when you could have saved him.
The man spent time thinking, I want to get a tattoo. Then he spent time thinking, I want do not resuscitate written on my chest. Then he went to the tattoo place, paid for the thing after making an appointment, and never went to get it off.
Who did it? Maybe he was drunk.
Yeah.
You don't know the
And you
context.
can get it taken off.
well, I would like to say
It takes
something.
time.
Go ahead.
Well, this tattoo, we don't know what is the meaning behind it because it could be some artistic signification.
maybe he was just doing it as a joke.
And it's like, why would you pay such huge amounts of money for a life-threatening joke?
Maybe his friend did it in his
Stop it here.
basement.
Is anybody willing to change their opinion at this point? So, I'm going to give you 5 more minutes to this because obviously I don't want to spend too much time on this. And remember the point. In 5 minutes, if you are not unanimous, you collectively fail the exercise. This is not about being right. This is about convincing everybody else. Go. 5 minutes.
Fair, dude. Can I switch sides?
I feel like I'd work on 12 though.
Yeah, go back to the side.
Changing
Go
sides.
back to the side.
Can't be reasonable.
Go back to the side.
I'm sorry. Okay, I see.
Did you see that? She just bribed her.
Think about it. Think about the possibility of this man getting the tattoo at some point in his life, and then at that point in his life he was sad. Maybe his kid died, and then he at that point in his life wanted to die, and maybe he knew about this danger of resuscitation, and then he didn't want to be resuscitated at that point in his time. But later when he didn't have money, he changed his feelings. He didn't want to die at that point, and that's when he had his cardiac arrest. And now us leaving him to die would be us not even hearing what he actually has to say. We don't know when those words aren't his present words. Those are his words in the past from when he actually did it.
Well, should that be a
Considering the guy's 50, he probably got it quite a long time ago. So we can't know for sure what he meant back
Well,
then.
we can't know for sure if he still wants to be resuscitated or not. Maybe he still doesn't.
Which is why you keep him alive. If he dies, it's the end.
It's a reasonable
It
doubt.
finishes
Your first
forever, and you can't even know if you're right.
Let's look at this with a logical point of view, okay? We made a lot of assumptions because we don't know what he actually wants, and he's not in a state to tell us. But the things that we know are, first of all, it's our job to help people stay alive. Second of all, if the person didn't want to die and then you let him die, then you can be charged with criminal negligence or like other things.
Well, will he be here to tell me that he didn't want to die?
Listen, I'm talking here.
No, but
Listen.
if he was alive, he could
Hey, I'm talking here. Listen, if ever you get him alive and then he sue you because he wanted to die and
It's
he
not
wanted
illegal
to be
document.
resuscitated.
You have no obligation
Because
to
he
listen
wanted
to
to die.
these words because you aren't sure of what those words mean.
But maybe it's his choice and he
But
wanted to die.
maybe, but there's too much doubt to know that, so you keep him alive.
Exactly.
You can only know about his decision after.
Let's not forget. Rock, paper, scissors. That's it. Go.
Let's not forget.
Rock, paper, scissors. Okay, guys, rock, paper, scissors.
Because tattoos are an art form and not an actual, I don't know, if you had maybe a
Well,
necklace
people express
around
their
his neck
feelings by
saying,
using art.
please do not resuscitate
So how
on a
can you
dog tag.
explain that?
I would trust that even more than a piece of art written across someone's chest
Okay, listen.
in ink done by an
minutes
artist
left.
for an artistic point.
Well, how can you know it's an artistic point? Like a
It's
lot
better-
of
how can
painters,
you
we
know
could
that
ask
it's
him.
sincere?
We could
Yeah.
ask him if he was alive.
If we keep him alive, then we can actually know what he feels afterwards.
Okay,
And what
if he
if
still
afterwards?
wants to die, I mean-
What if afterwards he tells us that he wanted to live and that tattoo
What if
was a
afterwards
mistake?
he says that he wants to die?
He has other ways to die.
Well,
Okay, listen,
we
listen.
can say we didn't know because we didn't know.
Suppose
Okay,
your
listen,
child
now-
had that
now-
We gave him the choice by keeping him alive.
If it was just a simple tattoo,
his mind later on in his life, you know?
guys, if it was just a simple tattoo with no signature on, I would agree. Maybe he doesn't want to die anymore, but it has his tattoo. It has his signature tattooed on it.
1
So-
minute left.
Although such a signature, since it's a tattoo on his own chest, it's rather difficult to sign like this.
So that means
the
someone
fact-
else
so it's
signed
not
his
his
signature
big-
for it. It's
Well,
like
he gave the
surgery.
authorization for the tattoo artist to sign on his chest.
We're making
So that's
a
his.
lot of assumptions and we're thinking a lot right now. But in the moment, you have no time to think. So your first reflex should be to save him because that is your job.
That wouldn't be my
You have no
reflex,
time
I'm
to
sorry.
think about
I wouldn't
whether
save him.
it was an artistic choice or whether he's
If
depressed or
someone had a
anything.
tattoo
You
saying
save
it-
him.
It was a phrase that was signed by the man.
someone
who
has
is-
a tattoo that was like,
Not
Don't
signed
you want to
directly by
save
him.
people? Do
Look.
you willingly wake up thinking, you know what, I'm gonna kill someone today? No!
I wouldn't be killing him. That would be his will to not
Your
live.
child has a
Look,
tattoo.
you
Would
don't
you
know
let
if
him die?
it's his will.
Guys,
It's his will.
You
know
don't
that.
know that.
I know that.
You
He signed
can't
it.
know that.
You know nothing about
Is he
him.
alive to tell you?
Alright,
Then no, you
Yes,
don't.
that he
if
needs
his
help.
tattoo said chop me up into pieces, would you do it?
Okay,
Yes. Okay, take a breath, everybody.
We're also angry.
Eyes closed. I know, right? It's like you're doing a play or something. Okay, so eyes closed, everybody. Take a breath. So, I'm just going to ask you this, simply to vote again, one last time, hidden vote, just to see whether or not by the end you guys can be unanimous or not. So, eyes closed, everybody, take a breath. So, who thinks you should be resuscitating him? Alright, hands down. And now, who thinks you should not resuscitate him? Alright. Okay, so it wasn't unanimous, I'm sorry. So, you fail the exercise. I mean, but that last 3 minutes of arguing was absolutely adorable.
Come together.